because all of us in our life have people that are really behind us, whether it's your wing woman, your best friend, your husband, your wife, whoever, but people around you have confidence in you. And when you're kind of like in that waffling stage of like, I don't know, borrow the confidence that other people have because they have it for a reason. They see in you what you don't see. It's hard to see yourself from the inside out. So it's like when you kind of get that 360-degree view, all of a sudden it's like you kind of sit up a little straighter. Maybe I can't do that. I think, okay, I guess I will try it. I guess I will be tenacious and try it one more time.
Hey everybody, and welcome to the show. I'm so excited to have you here. My name's Tiffany, and I'm the host. This is Unveiling Journeys. We are going to go into an incredible guest that we have today. Just a smidge about myself. I love the power of networking. I love the power of getting to know incredible people and being not the smartest person in every room so that I can get to know just incredible people and their thing and their story and their companies and all of the above. And in that, I I guess I like to ask people, "Hey, who do you know that I need to know? And by the way, tell me your story because I feel like I know people that you need to know." That leads to all the incredible people that I get to meet. So with that, that's actually how I met my guest today. I said, "Hey, who do you know?" And they said, "You need to know my friend Jen." I was like, "I do. Tell me. Let's get together." So that's what happened. And I got to know her. We got to hang out. And I said, "Do you want to come be on my show? I like what you're up to. And I want to tell people about you." So with that, thank you, Jen, for coming to be on the show today.
Yeah.
Tell everybody a little bit about what you're up to and, like, who you are.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Happy to be here, Tiffany. So yeah, we did meet. I think we were like a LinkedIn connection or we met on the networking and it was like, I like what you do too. I am also about connecting people and collaborating. So my job is I am a professional wing woman. So I partner with business owners behind the scenes for strategy, collaboration, communication, and accountability. And the way I came to that is I can tell you a little bit about my background, which kind of doesn't really make sense, but my background is in fitness. I was in fitness for over 20 years in leadership at a hospital based fitness center. And I had 100 classes a week and 50 contractors and all the places and spaces and really did everything there was all grassroots. We did our own marketing. I did my own hiring, talent acquisition, all the things, revenue driving, all those things, and went through COVID and things got really hard. So I'm sure everybody remembers. We don't have to talk about that. But what happened after that was there was another position that came open that I said, this is where I want to go now. And I was told like, well, you're great. We really need you, but we need you right where you are. And I was like, I think I'm done. Like I was done. There was no more growth. There was no more. So I took all of my leadership skills to the computer. And when I first started, I was like, well, I can be an assistant for people. I know how to help people behind the scenes, but really that wasn't where my skill set was best utilized. And that became evident really quickly. So once I started working with people, it was like I could help to hear the things that weren't being said. I could help them to take the step that they were maybe a little bit afraid to take because it's hard to do that stuff when you're by yourself. So most of the people that I worked with and that I work with now are solopreneurs who literally look around and they go, I don't want to do this by myself anymore, or I can't do this by myself anymore. And they might have an assistant person. They might have like a web developer, but they don't have a partner and a strategist. And so that's where I get to come in and be like you, kind of be the connector, introduce them to other people in my world, talk to them about really what do you want to do next with your business? Do you know what I mean? Where do you want to go? Where do you see this going? Because if they have a chance to step out of the day to day and start to sort of like really think about that stuff, we can put it down and start to make it happen. Like set the milestones and set the things because in your brain it just starts to become a dream and you just think about it over and over, but you never really get there because you're doing the stuff. So yeah, so that's how I became a professional wing woman and get to, fly alongside a lot of really cool people and help them to expand the stuff that they have to offer.
This is so fun because I find myself occasionally being that, like, I hear you out, encourage you person, but I've never considered that this is like an actual career someone should do and is doing.
Yeah.
You're being the person I never even imagined that I don't know. I just love this so much. So let's do this. Tell me a little bit about like where are you from? Where did this all start? What did you want to be when you grew up?
Yeah, I think I'm still figuring that out, but I think I've landed on it now. But I am from a suburb in Chicago. So I'm outside Chicago, but I'm kind of in between Chicago and Milwaukee, closer to the Wisconsin border. But so I've grown up, I live in the same town I grew up in, which I love. And to me, again, this is like you just said, this was something I never could have imagined. I never would have dreamed it possible because I was raised that I didn't come from entrepreneurs. I didn't come from anybody that would take that sort of leap, and go out on the edge of discomfort because that's what it is. I was raised where you get a good job, which I had, you work really hard, which I did, and then eventually you retire from there and they throw you a party and it's a cash bar and everybody can come. You know what I mean? Like that is what that's what I learned. But as I said, once I got to a point where I was like, I could do that job with my eyes closed, and I'm tired of lining their pockets with all of my really hard work because the executives that were above me, they were earning off of really what I was doing. And I was like, gosh, this is so disappointing. And it was hard to look that in the face and be like, this is where I thought I was going to retire from. I love fitness and I still love fitness. I get to teach classes. So I teach at a different super cool studio. So I get to go do that and have fun. And then I get to come home and get on my computer and work with people that geographically I would never have met, people like you on opposite coasts. That how would our paths cross? Like you know we would never come in contact with one another, and now I get to like be a part of their world in a really meaningful way, so it's super fun. And I
That's
have
incredible.
people from all different industries. Like it's not really industry specific for me. So lots of times people will say, hey, I was thinking about this, do you think you can do this? And my answer is usually, I don't see why not. I don't know if I knew what I wanted to be when I grew up, but I did know that I could probably be anything I wanted to be.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think that's where this is sort of coming from. And my parents drove that. I think there were no limits other than the ones that are learned. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well,
So,
like customarily, like in my own hometown, they're like, well, why would you go to school? You just get a job and you show up. You don't need school for
right.
that. It's expensive. It's far away. It's all the above.
Yep, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So what did you end up going to school, like leaving hometown?
I did. I went to Northern Illinois University I went there for a couple years, but I fell into the trap of because I was working and supporting myself, doing all of that. And then you start working and you make what you think is a big person salary. So all of a sudden school takes a side. So I left Northern and kept working and working and working. And then I went back to school for fitness when it was, about 20 years ago. I took a certificate program at a college that was a couple years, and I had an internship, and it was so I landed at a hospital-based wellness center, which is what I wanted. And if I knew that that was an actual job, I would have done that when I was at Northern, and I probably would
Yeah.
have finished that. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
But
Yeah.
it just never occurred to me. So I did step away for a little bit, but really kind of always had my home base here. Um, and I kind of like that. My kids have grown up in the same place that I did, and they're about to fly their wings, launching. I have my oldest is about to go to Iowa State in 2 weeks, and yeah, it's really fun and exciting, but it's bittersweet. It's tough. Yeah.
So let's start a little bit cracking into that journey. When you decided to step away from school the first time and you were working, what were some of those jobs that you started to do and how did that impact kind of your
Yeah.
journey in the beginning?
Gosh, it's so funny. Every job that I have, I've started wherever I started, but I almost immediately was promoted to being in charge of everything. So I really date myself. I worked in video stores, I would
How about
think.
that?
Yeah. You know what video stores are. Some of your listeners might not. That's a place where you went to rent a video. We didn't have Netflix. So, and I became manager and general manager and helped open different locations. And so that was fun for a while. Um, And then I went on and I temped and I did some crazy temp jobs because I was kind of like, I'm not sure what I want to do next. And there were some crazy temp jobs, let me just tell you. I mean, like I temped at one place where every single day at 5 o'clock, everyone in the office would open up a beer and keep working. And this was, I'm talking about like 30 years ago still, but, and I was in my 20s and I was like, this is a trick. I can't, if I do this, this is some kind of a trick. And I never participated because I was too scared. So I would go home and have a beer. But anyways, like there were just crazy temp jobs like that I was like, these are not for me. And then I worked in an insurance company and was hired in as, it was life insurance and supplemental disability, hired in as entry level. And then I was within 6 months, I think I was promoted to department head for life and disability branch. And I got my FMLA and I studied, like I threw myself into every job that I had. I couldn't tell you anything about it right now, so don't ask me. But I really I love to learn about stuff. If I'm in it, I'm like, I'm learning, this is it, we're doing this. And so while I was there is when we had a gym in that building and I would go there super early so I could beat traffic and work out every day. And one day I was like, how can I get paid to do this? And I was like, well, obviously I'm not a professional athlete. Nobody's going to pay me for that. And then I found that the school that had a certificate program in personal training track that I went there and got an internship while I was working full time. So same kind of similar with what I'm doing now. It was like, okay, well, I can be on my computer. How can I get paid to do this?
Mhm.
Like, and then you just kind of have to figure that out.
Right. I think
Yeah.
that's why the podcast was even born for me, because I'm like, I mean, I'm not like I'm getting paid for the podcast, but I love hanging out with people so much. I'm like, how do I make this
Right.
more happen? Everything that I'm doing. And now it's like a labor of love because I want you guys
Yeah.
to go make more money by bringing you on the show. But that's so fun to consider like, all right, I love doing this. How do I make money doing more of this?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, there are some people that like, well, I love sitting on the couch being a bum. Like,
They don't usually pay you for that, but if you can figure it out, man, more power to you.
for sure, for sure. All right. So you got your first internship. What were some of these like influential people along the way and how are they guiding you and
Oh,
helping you or throwing you some of their life lessons?
I had great leaders when I was in fitness. I had really great leaders, and that shaped what I get to do now for sure. Like, and actually, even all the way back to the video stores, great leaders, people that were really able to empower the team to work hard and work toward the common goal. And one thing that the fitness facility did really well was they really put a lot into developing leaders. So I ended up taking all of the leadership training that they gave me as I moved up there quickly. Also, I came in as a entry level fitness specialist, and then I was fitness specialist, and then I was in charge of all the fitness specialists and I was overseeing. So that's how I ended up being as part of the leadership team. But I took all of their leadership training and crucial conversations, and we did strengths finders and disc, and I love all of those things and learning and then applying them to the team, the people that I was leading, so that they could grow, because it was important to me. The people above me gave me that opportunity, so when I had people come in, I really wanted to make sure that they had the same opportunities. So that's something I'm really proud of. I know that I did do a good job leading my teams, and really helping to develop some people in their strengths that maybe they didn't even know they had. So when I became a wing woman, like this is who I've always been. I've always been, I mean, I'm talking all the way back to like high school and my personal life of raising my kids. I would always tell my boys when they were little, like, you will always have a wing woman and mom. I'm your wing woman, but you have to do the speaking for yourself. You have to do the learning for yourself. I can't do that stuff for you, but I'm right here. If you give me that look, I will step in and finish your sentence. But I can't, you have to do, if you made the mistake, you have to own it. If you have a question, you have to ask it. My kids played a lot of sports. You guys are the athletes, not me. I don't know what uniform you're wearing. I don't actually, frankly, care. So you should figure that out.
Yeah.
And I'm not packing your bag because I don't know what goes in it. So that kind of thing. But it was like, so I've always been like that. In up to and including when I was leading teams. So that was something that I was like, if I know that I'm really good at that and I know that I've helped people along the way, so why not help people now when they're in their own business journey and kind of like in a silo by themselves? It's really hard when you don't have anybody to like knock that idea off of, or, and have somebody speak the truth. And sometimes I tell my clients, I don't know that that's the greatest idea or the best use of your time or the best use of your resources or money. How about if we do this instead? Let's try this. And we'll, kind of come up with it together and sort
Yeah.
of collaborate until we can find something that's going to make the most sense.
It feels to me like a neutral third party backboard. Like you're not coming in to be the bad guy or the good guy. You're just like, let me hear brain dump to me and let's see what sticks and I'll do it with you because I'm not trying to get a piece of your business. I'm not
Right.
trying to do this, this, and this. It's like, I want to see you grow. That's why I'm here for you. So let's
Yes.
figure out what makes sense to maybe a neutral person.
Yeah, exactly what you just said too, like brain dump. I mean, data download. Sometimes that's exactly what I do with my clients. It's like they get to data download what's in their brain, whatever it is, what's blocking them, what the great ideas are that they had. I can help them organize all of that, and I've had clients say to me, sometimes they'll come into our, weekly meetings and go, well, we don't have very much going on. And I go, okay. And I read like 10 bullet points. I go, we have so much going on, but it's just all organized now. So it's not overwhelming you where you're like, and you're kind of calm, like, we don't have anything. Well, yeah, we do. We have like, there's all these things and let's move them, So it's opening up capacity for them to be able to do what they're great at because they're not trying to organize what's in their brain every 5 seconds and, following the shiny object and chasing the squirrels.
Oh my gosh. I wish I'd known you in my previous iterations of all my businesses. You might even be selling me now. I'm like, that's why I business partnered up to be able to have the right people to, you got to have those brain dump people. Whenever people, there's a lot of solopreneurs out there that have to have whatever this is until they get going to where they need to be.
Yeah.
Man, this is awesome. What does it feel like whenever you get to meet someone for the first time to be able to start working with them?
I usually know pretty quickly if we're going to be a good match. And if we're not, I'll give them a little bit of something and bless and release because I can really feel it. I have a good read of people, which I think made me, like I said, I think that made me really good at leading teams. And I do think that helps me to understand people now. So it's an intangible, but when I see it even on the computer, I'm like, okay, we'll be good together. And like I said, sometimes they go, well, I need help with this and this. Do you do that? And I don't see why not, you know? And I do know the things that I should not be doing. I'm very clear about those too.
That's
I'm not jumping in and trying to recreate somebody's website or doing those kinds of things. But what I can do, I can help the person who is doing that. I can be the go between so that you can stop answering 50 questions. I can give them one direction and then we can go back and forth. You know what I mean? I can
Mhm.
help you get your messaging clear so that they know what you're trying to do and work with people that are on their team because sometimes they do have a small team, but they just don't have that collaborator, uh,
Mhm.
which is what which is where I'm really, that's where I live.
Now, this position that you've invented, right? That you're the wing woman. You're doing all of this. It sounds like it was a new venture for you to start and then you're being successful at it. So why do you keep showing up? Why do you keep trying?
Because when I am working with these clients that I have created such great relationships with, and I get to see them get to do more, start making more money, launch their book, launch their podcast, get their word out into the world, and I get to be a part of that and help them. I mean, it's so rewarding to me to like, that's like my dinner time talk with my husband. I'm like, this person did this today and this person did this today. And he's like, oh my God, that's so cool. And I'm like, I got to help them. Like, I feel like it's really, I know that they see value, in working with me. And that is something that I love. If I can provide them value that is going to, lighten their load, they get to, their shoulders relax a little bit. They start to unclench their jaw. And all of a sudden they're like, we're planning for the start of 2026 now. And I'm like, like that's what we've just done. We've created that capacity. We've got working quarter to quarter and moving forward. And we're doing it like it's easy. It doesn't have to be hard. So
That's
I love doing that. That's something that just like I wake up and I'm excited about what I have going on each day.
I've noticed like a little bit of a theme with some of the incredible guests that I've had is that in your line of business, you are you're not making a one-to-one impact for everything you're helping all these people. You're creating like a ripple in the pond effect because when you empower them and help them crush it and grow, they're then going out and being the best of who they could be for this product or their company or their thing or their widget. And then they get to go be, you're like just the planting of the seed and watering it. And then the crop that grows from it is just so intense because you were able to get them and get their act together.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and really, and kind of challenge them to do some things that might be out of their comfort zone. Maybe they have stories, they belong on podcasts, they belong on stages, they belong in networking in front of networking groups that I don't know, that one's out of my league. No, no such thing. We're going. We're doing this. Like that's how it works. You know, so giving them so sometimes they if they don't have confidence in themselves, they get to borrow some of my confidence because I have confidence in everything that they're doing. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here. I would be like, well, they wrote a book or they have a product, but they can do it. If I didn't have confidence that like this is worth it, I wouldn't be sitting with them.
Man, that's so fun. This
Yeah.
is so fun. That's why I was like, I think I just need to hear, I need people to hear out that you've invented this position and that you're doing this for so many cool people. And that, but here's the deal. People don't know necessarily how to come find you. How do you want people that are listening to this right now? Like, I could be your very next wing woman if it fits, right? Like they
Absolutely.
know that they need you. Where do you want them to come find you?
Yes. I would say LinkedIn is where work out of mostly LinkedIn and then my email address, which is my first initial J, my last name Anderson, 5969 at gmail.com. I don't even have a website because when I created this, like talk about building the plane while you're flying it. When I left my fitness job, I was like, you know what, I'm going to do this. And I met someone online and I started working with them. And long story short, everything that I have since then has been word of mouth referral. So they've connected me with someone else who's connected me with someone else, someone I met online or met at a networking group. So that's how I've gotten all of my business. At one point, I was like, I need to make myself a website, but I was like, I don't know, do I? I mean,
Right. Yeah,
maybe
I think that's
someday.
why the idea of putting you on here, word of mouth, getting the word spread out for what it is that you're doing and letting you be heard. That's why I like the show. Like, I want to be the megaphone for these incredible people because you are doing that for this person and I get to do that for I'm like the pre. I'm like, let's do the seed. All the way
Yeah.
you've invented a thing. I want to tell more people about you in the manner of what you're way you're doing it.
So cool, Tiffany. I love it.
So tell me this. I want to hear because I bet you've had so many cool pieces of advice over the years. Like, tell me one or two of your favorite like pieces of wisdom or your nuggets that you want to leave with everyone.
Yeah. Um, so I'll tell you a couple actually. So one of them kind of pertains to having little kids, which might help you, but it also pertains to just life in general. When my kids were little, they were toddlers. They would, you know, you're trying to put them down for bedtime and they'd come in. I don't want to go, so you have to put them back. And I used to tell my husband, all I have to do is be able to do one thing. I have to be able to do it one more time than they can, and then I will. So it's just that persistency. And all I have, and I can do it one more time than a toddler, even if it takes me all night. Like I will dig in and that will happen. So I think there's some truth to that for all of us, right? You just have to be able to do something one more time than you thought you were going to be able to do it. You have to apply for that position one more time. You have to reach out to that person one more time. Like no is really just kind of like a suggestion. Right? No, it's just a suggestion when you're asking for something or you know, you really have an offer for somebody like you can be respectful tenacity is what I call that. Respectful tenacity
Ooh, I like that so much. I
to
always
be
think
able to
thought
get
no
that.
was no. And like I had someone that was like, until I get 7 no's, it's not really a real no. I'm like, I have not had that respectful tenacity to that point, but you've changed my perspective on this. Like you are accurate. All
Yeah.
right, that was a good one. Tell me one
Yeah.
more.
Well, the other one that I said, I kind of mentioned it earlier, is like if you don't have confidence in what you're doing, borrow it from someone else who does. Because all of us in our life have people that are really behind us, whether it's your wing woman, your best friend, your husband, your wife, whoever. But people around you have confidence in you, and when you're kind of like in that waffling stage of like, I don't know, borrow the confidence that other people have because they have it for a reason. They see in you what you don't see. It's hard to see yourself from the inside out. So it's like when you kind of get that 360-degree view, all of a sudden it's like you kind of sit up a little straighter. Maybe I can't do that. I think, okay, I guess I will try it. I guess I will be tenacious and try it one more time.
Yeah, even in like the highs and lows days, like I can be super, super confident and occasionally I get caught off guard. I'm like, am I am I doing the right thing? Like, am I okay today? Am I like step up? You got to surround yourself with those people that can be that for you. Like even me,
Yes.
she's crushing it. I'm like, I'm having an off day today. I need a guy to tell me it's okay.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you can call me anytime, Tiffany, and I'll tell you that all day.
Oh, I appreciate it so much. Yeah, because you just never know. And it could be, what do they call it? Like imposter syndrome. Like, I don't even believe I made it this far to do what I'm doing right now. Like,
Yeah.
they say a podcast fails in the first 4 to 8 episodes. I'm like, what? I didn't think their failure's not an option. We're at episode 67 right now. Like, blaze forward. I have so many
Yeah.
stories I need to tell that their thing is bigger than me, that I need to tell people about them and I can't stop for them. So I guess it's like
Right.
we get to live vicariously to share their story through me. And that's why I'm not stopped. But you can give up sometimes
Yeah.
easily on yourself. That's why you got to surround yourself with those people. Go remind you your own vision, mission, purpose for what you're doing.
Yeah. And it's really who gets imposter syndrome? Everybody. Professional athletes, CEOs, billionaires, people who work at your kid's school, everybody gets it. So it's like this isn't unique to anybody. We all kind of have that, and it's like, if you keep in mind that you're here for a reason, you can't mess up what's meant for you.
Yeah.
So once you figure out what's meant for you, you might have some forks in the road or things aren't going to go great every single day, but you really can't mess up what's meant for you. So just it's right there in front of you. Yeah.
Gosh, this has been amazing. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for coming on. Thank you for
Yeah.
sharing your story. Everybody, thank you for staying for the whole episode. I know you're going to go right now on the LinkedIn, friend Jen. If you can't find her, friend me. I'll get you right with her. Because
Yeah.
also, let's have a chat. Who do you need to know that I know? And how can I get to know more people that you know? And that's it, guys. Like, thanks for staying for the whole show. I look forward to seeing you on the next one. And everybody go have a great day.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.